up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special guest here with me. This is Leslie. Today we are doing something different on my channel. I am starting a new series called My Journey, and she's gonna go ahead and kick off the series today. She's gonna tell us a little bit about something that she's been through. She's gonna tell her story, and then throughout the video I'm gonna be asking her a few common questions that they get. She's gonna go ahead and give us a little information about herself, what her life is like today, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the story.
Well, my name is Leslie. I'm turning 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. I've actually known Candy for probably like 1 or 2 years maybe now. We met in cosmetology school. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I'm an upcoming makeup artist, and I'm trying to step foot into the fitness industry, so that's one of my biggest hobbies that are a part of my life right now. I met my partner when I was 16. We were together for about 5 years. Our relationship started very normal. We were both kids. He was only a few years older than me, so it was typical high school relationship. I didn't know where I was going in life. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going to high school and trying to graduate school. Things got really rough probably after a year or two of dating. Typical relationship problems of a young couple, seeing messages, finding out little things. After probably the third year of dating, there was a lot of fights. Nothing too crazy, nothing where it was alarming. And I come from a very steady household. I come from, I want to say, a really good family. My parents have been married for years. I have an older brother. We hardly ever fought. So when my relationship began to get hard, it was weird for me. I didn't understand it. I didn't know where this was coming from. I didn't know how to basically just handle the whole thing. After maybe the 4th year of being together, I want to say roughly towards the last 6-7 months of the relationship, was when a lot of fights started to happen more often, and it was a lot more of verbal abuse. At the time, I didn't know what any of that was. I just thought he's upset and he's yelling. Things just escalated from there. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. All I knew was that I was starting to become afraid of the person that I was in love with.
Would you describe your relationship as a psychological trap disguised as love?
I'm not sure if it was a trap. I've learned that people that have issues of that sort, that's the only way they know how to love. They manipulate you to the point where either you believe it's your fault or you somehow believe that they didn't mean it.
So would you say that the first stage in any domestic violence relationship is to seduce and charm the victim?
To a certain extent, yes. They want to get comfortable. Okay. They get comfortable to the point where they know they have you and it's going to be difficult for you to leave.
Would you say the second stage is to isolate the victim?
Yes, once they get comfortable with getting you comfortable and being with them and being together for a certain amount of time, they start to kind of pull you away from the people you're surrounded with. Right. Especially when you have a big support group and you have a good family and you have a good amount of friends that would stand up for you. Right. They try to keep you away from that. In my opinion, I believe that the people that try to isolate you, they can be very insecure because they know that if they leave you out there and exposed to everybody, someone will put a stop to it.
Pull you away from the situation. Did he ever try to control you as far as when you went out, who you went out with, how much makeup you wore, what type of clothes you wear?
No, it was never like that. There were certain comments that were made. With us, I believe the comments or the questions came because of a guilty conscience. You know, past mistakes by him or by this person led him to believe that I was doing the same thing. And in a way, it's kind of like it made him feel better to think that I was doing something because it kind of excused him from the stuff he had done.
He wanted to feel like he was right.
Mm-hmm.
What sacrifices did you make in your relationship that you wish you could take back?
Just putting that person first. I think you don't realize that at the end of it, you lose yourself. You start becoming so involved with this person and making them happy, and you start to believe that you're the problem. Okay. You're the reason why this relationship isn't working out. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect in a relationship. I have my flaws. I've made certain mistakes. None major. Nothing that was disrespectful to the person. But of course, you know, there's little things that as a person you're gonna annoy the other person when you're in a relationship. Another sacrifice that I think I made was I wasn't spending a lot of time with family. I wasn't around them. My whole world just became involved in this person. My intentions were always good. It wasn't like I just wanted to kick everybody out, but I just wanted my relationship to work. I felt like it was my fault, so I wanted to take responsibility and I wanted to fix it because I didn't want to lose this person.
Did you see a big future with him?
Yes. Like I said, I was young. I started at 16. This was my first love. I saw my life with this person. I saw having kids. I saw having a house. I saw, making money and making moves and just growing together. And that's why when the breakup happened, it took a big toll because I was there in my life and I lost everything from one day to another.
Do you feel it is important to educate our youth about domestic violence and how to recognize the signs?
Yes. I always wondered why I was put through that situation. I didn't understand it. I used to say, well, what did I do to somebody to deserve this? Or is this my karma for something? But I realized that maybe I needed to learn this lesson to help me grow as a person. My niece is on the way, so it'll be my first niece, so it's so exciting. I believe that maybe I can teach her something. Maybe when I have a daughter myself, or daughters, I don't know what I'm gonna have, or even my sons, I can teach them about a world that I was never taught. I think it's also important to educate people on what domestic violence really is. People don't know that domestic violence can also be verbal, mental, physical, sexual. I did my research. I didn't know that sexual is not rape. People think sexual abuse is someone raped you, someone forced you to do something. No. I learned that sexual abuse also means if the person charms you right after they harm you, or right after they bring you down as a person and they try to charm you. That's something I wasn't aware of. People think it's not domestic violence if we're not married, or he has to or he or she has to hit me and I have to have some sort of mark on me for it to be domestic violence, but it's not true. The moment this person crosses a line or makes you feel bad about yourself or talks to you in a certain way that makes you feel bad, it's automatically domestic violence.
Did he ever physically abuse you?
Sometimes. It never got super crazy out of hand, but it happened. Shoves, pulls, getting in each other's face type of things. Thankfully never got to the point where I was truthfully or hurt really bad physically. Of course, with the shoves and the tugs, you get bruises and that will happen.
Do you think that if you would have stayed in the relationship longer, it would have gotten to that point?
I think so. I think once the disrespect line gets crossed, you can't go back.
Right.
Once you allow someone to do that to you, they will always cross that line. I think that once someone gets comfortable with calling you the B word, or someone telling you, go F yourself, and I just recently learned what good communication skills are. Every argument and disagreement shouldn't turn into a big fight. You can sit down and talk and disagree, and we'll agree to disagree. But once that person crosses the line of yelling, cursing, and bringing you down as a person, they will cross that line every single time.
What advice can you give to friends and family of domestic violence victims?
Anyone can tell you it's gonna be okay. Life goes on. There's more people, there's more fish in the sea, but that's not what we want to hear. We want to see someone who went through it and know that they made it through. When I decided to share it with my family, as a victim or as a survivor or someone who went through it, you don't want to keep getting asked the same questions of why did you stay? Or what exactly did he do? You don't want to relive the moments over and over again. You just want someone to hear you out. I think the families just need to support this person, support their grieving process. They ask for advice, give it to them. If not, the person will leave the situation when they're ready and when they want to. You can't force someone. The more you tell them to leave, the more they will stay.
Are you a strong believer that nobody is safe and anybody can be a part of this situation?
Yeah, I believe so. When I started doing research on domestic violence, I realized that men go through this too. Women can be the abusers. It doesn't have to be men. I don't believe that all men are the same. It's so easy to be like, oh my god, every guy is the same and they're not worth it. I also don't believe that every abuser is a bad person. Sometimes the abuser has a bad past, has a bad childhood. Maybe they come from parents who did this to them, or who their father abused their mother, or their mother abused their dad, or they come from a broken home and that's all they know. But I don't think that anyone is safe. I think that it can happen to anybody. It can happen to women, men, any race that you are, any religion that you're from. It can happen in long-term marriages. You can be married to someone for years, and I believe that it can still happen, but I do believe it can be prevented. You have to pay attention to these people's behaviors.
The signs.
The signs. If it feels wrong, it is wrong. If you're not willing to share the story with your family member or your parents, then it's wrong. And you need to remove yourself out of the situation as soon as you can.
What helped you escape or distracted you from your toxic relationship?
I get asked this a lot. When I open up to family, they ask me, well, what made you leave? Got tired. I woke up that day and I was fed up with feeling the way that I felt. I was fed up with the arguing, the fighting, and it was draining me. You shouldn't be, walking on eggshells with this person, and I got tired of that. I just got overwhelmed. I was always stressed out. I was lashing out on family members. I just wasn't myself. And I woke up one day and I knew it would be one of the biggest decisions of my life, but that day I just packed up my stuff and I walked away and closed all communication. So my life took a turn within hours.
You mentioned that fitness and the beauty industry is a big part of your life right now. How does that take place in your situation?
People think that anyone in the fitness industry is very superficial and you only care about the way you look, and you post videos or pictures just for likes
or attention.
They criticize anyone in the fitness industry, but they don't realize that the fitness industry can be an escape. The gym is an escape. The gym is therapy. It helps you block your thoughts and let out your anger, let out your frustration and your stress. Those 2 hours or hour that you're inside of that place, it's like your world stops and you get a chance to just take a breather and get some energy. Both of those industries have the power of making someone just feel so much better about themselves. The fitness industry and the gym, I think it saved my life. I think it saved me from falling into a deeper hole.
Do you consider yourself a domestic violence survivor or a recovering domestic violence victim?
It's hard to admit that you're a victim to something. I want to believe that I'm very strong in a lot of aspects of my life. I can stand up for myself, but to admit that you're a victim of that, it's hard. It kind of hits your pride and your ego a little bit hard to say, someone did this to me. Someone put me in this situation and I'm dealing with this process. I think that anyone who does remove themselves out of the situation, you become a survivor. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that you're a victim. It's okay to admit it. It's okay to say, I went through something, I hit a very low moment in my life, and I picked myself back up, and I became a survivor of it.
What do you hope the viewers obtain from watching this video of you sharing your story?
I hope I can inspire someone, at least one person. Of course, not everyone's gonna be able to relate, but I believe that at least once in our life, we're gonna come across a friend, a relative, a friend of a friend that's going through a toxic relationship. There's so many people that are in bad relationships, and maybe right now they don't know it, or they do know it and they're still in it. I just hope my story can help someone see that even when your life changes completely in a blink of an eye, you'll be okay. It's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to feel broken and process and grieve, but you also have to understand that life does go on. I just hope that my story and people seeing how I processed it, seeing that I made it through, and seeing that I'm admitting that I was a victim and I made it through all the stages of denial. And even if you feel that this person is your world, this person is everything, and this relationship is all you know, it's okay to start over. I'm a big believer that, God sends his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers, and we all have to learn something. Maybe I had to learn a lesson and I had to learn it that way. I didn't have anyone to relate to. I didn't know where I was always confused. Where do I go from here? When you're in a relationship that's that long and you have a lot of future plans, you feel like your life is over. You don't know where you're going. You will be able to make it through this bad chapter. And once you finally put a close to that chapter, you'll just feel so much peace in your heart.
Alright, you guys, so that concludes today's story. She is starting her own channel, so if you guys go ahead and subscribe to her channel, she's going to be sharing more about her experience with you guys. If you guys want to follow her on social media, if there's anybody out there who is going through a similar situation that she went through, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to her. She can be found on...
I'm on Instagram. It's Leslie Desiree, and just reach out to me for any questions or anything that you guys might want to ask. ask me.
Yeah, so all of her social media links will be in the description. And that's basically it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Bye.
Guys.